what's happening? I have to go back to work tomorrow for the first time in like 2.5 weeks, and I'm not fucking happy about it. I have really enjoyed at least the last like week and a half, because the first few days after getting surgery were pretty rough. You know, like the last week and a half, I've pretty much felt okay. And I about feel totally normal at this point. Like, I mean, I have a little bit of soreness still, like, right at the base of my fucking nose. But it's, you know, it's really only if I fucking, like, touch it. So, you know, that's a pretty easy thing to avoid doing. So I plan to do a couple weeks of overtime, because I can just take overtime whenever I want it. And you know, working, like I work a 4-day work week, and whenever I work 2 extra days, I effectively double my paycheck, so it's worth it, and I kind of get like addicted to it. But I've tried to take a bit of a step back from that, because like my fucking life was falling apart, like working 6 days every week, and my 1 day off was very an R&R day for me. So you know, I just wasn't doing anything else, and it wasn't healthy. But I'm gonna do a couple weeks of it coming up, because I have a few trips planned for the remainder of this year. Kaylee and I are going to West Virginia in about 3 weeks. We're kind of waiting for like peak foliage. I want to go do some photography in New River Gorge National Park. And a couple of the state parks surrounding that. So we're gonna spend a couple days in West Virginia. And then about a month after that, I'm going to California for a few days. I'm gonna spend a couple days in Death Valley National Park. Again, to do some photography, because last time I was there last September, it was like 123 degrees. Like literally the fucking ground would heat the soles of your shoes up enough to where it would burn the bottom of your feet. So like, you know, I couldn't really do photography out there then, but I wasn't even, like last September, I wasn't even sort of as into it as I am now. So I'm really excited to go back and do that. And right now the plan is in December to go to Iceland, but I haven't actually booked anything for that yet, and it's almost October. So I have it in my head that that's what's happening, but of course that could change, and I come up with something else last minute, which is not out of the question. But that's not really why you guys are here. I am going to talk about some records as per usual. This time I'm going to talk about all like demo and EP material. So I have some actual like individual EP or demo releases, and then I have some compilations that I'm going to show as well of EP or demo material. And we're not sticking solely to like extreme metal today. We branch outside of that for just a few minutes, but for the most part this is sort of on the extreme metal end of things. This is what we got going in the background today. This is the new album from Forever Grey called Sympathy Garden. I love this project a whole lot, and everything they've done has been really good. So you know, I was happy to get the tape of this. Actually, the LP is up for pre-order now, if anybody likes Forever Grey. And if you don't like Forever Grey, it's just because you haven't heard it yet. All right, the first thing that we're going to talk about here is a US-based black metal project. I could have sworn that this was just a one-man project, but I guess I'm wrong. I mean, it says that there's 2 members here. But I definitely follow the guy who plays the instruments on Instagram, and I could have sworn that it was the same guy who did the vocals too, but whatever. This is Blitzwer with Demonstration des Triumphs. So the band name and the album title are both in German. I think Blitzwer translated to like Blood Oath, and the title was like Demonstration of Triumph. But this is a US-based project, like I said. This is really good stuff. I actually have the split that this band did, or project did, with Maleficent, which is another US-based black metal project. And that's a 7-inch, and I'm pretty sure that I haven't talked about that on here. But I really like this EP. I think this is officially considered an EP. This is a 10-inch vinyl, if you can't tell. So this is like really, really high energy, like fast, punky black metal. And this EP actually came out back in 2020, and I'm pretty sure that I've owned the 10-inch at least since like earlier last year. Put out through Asrar, and I'm pretty sure it was pretty early on last year, but I'm not 100% on that. So this thing is about 17 minutes of just good riffs, like blasting drums, these really shrieky, almost like, they kind of remind me of like Satanic War Master vocals. Man, I feel like my eyes aren't working properly. I can't tell if this is like focused. If it's not, you'll never end up seeing this, so. But, yeah, the vocals kind of remind me of like Werewolf Satanic War Master vocals with a nice reverb on them. Basically, this EP just gets in, fucks you up, and gets out. And I really enjoy it. And I'm pretty sure that there's actually like a full-length album in production right now. I'm really stoked on hearing it. But yeah, I really like the album cover. I like the sort of like medieval theme and just this kind of art. Because it's always fun to like look at the individual people. Like everybody here looks very nonplussed about this dude receiving the fattest L he'll ever take. And actually, even he himself in there doesn't seem too bothered by the fact that he's taking a fucking sword in his ribs. But yeah, that's good stuff. The back cover kind of just has more of that artwork. You have all the track listing. This is just 4 tracks. Like I said, it's about 17 minutes long. I like this. The Armored Stomp Will Prevail. Very cool. Here's the inner sheet right here. More of that art. It says Black Metal Nobility. Armored Skinhead Severe, the Throats of the Weak. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be sever. I don't know if there's like maybe an archaic spelling of that word with an E, or it's just a misspelling. But I do really like, there's some good faces in this one as well. I like this guy's face right here, because that's the appropriate reaction to having somebody like swing a sword at you. And here on the back, I'm not sure that these are like lyrics or anything. It's just a little, I don't know. Like it looks like it could be lyrics, but it's not like designated as lyrics on here or anything. I don't know the limitation on this or anything, but it's just black vinyl, red labels, very cool. So yeah, man, really good. If you like the kind of punky black metal stuff, this isn't like, I don't think you could just call this like punky black metal. This is definitely more kind of straightforward black metal, but it's got a very punk energy to it. And some of the riffs kind of sound that way as well. But really good stuff. If you never heard it, check it out. That's Blitzwer with Demonstration des Triumphs. Alright, we're going to stick to black metal for another few minutes here, and this is a band from Norway that doesn't have too much material, but everything they do have is pretty good. This is Cavem with Cosmos Erwache, E-R-W-A-C-H-E. I'll have to look that up. So this is a compilation of the demo material from Cavem. The compilation itself originally came out back in 2013. I'm pretty sure it was put out through Purity Through Fire, but this is out through Darker Than Black. So this is really good stuff. There are 2 demos on here. On the first disc, it's like 1 demo per side. But weirdly, on the second disc, there's just 1 bonus track called Brilliance of the Stars. And that song is only like 5 minutes long, and then the other side of that is etched. So like it's, I mean, you know, this thing was probably quite a bit more expensive than it had to be just because of that extra 5-minute song on 1 disc. I mean, that's like what Cattle Decapitation did with Humanure. Like that second disc was almost, you know, meaningless. But basically the reason I like this is because there are a lot of really good kind of emotive melodies on this one. The vocals are very like vicious. They're a little bit lower in the mix on the second demo, which is called Nordnorsk Hat Music. Yeah. I really like the bonus track on here, though I kind of wish they could have squeezed it onto the first disc. It's kind of mid-paced and simple, but it's really nice. This is another one that's kind of just packed to the gills with like high energy black metal. I really like it, man. Like, whenever, this is kind of one of those records that, like, when I'm not listening to it, it's kind of easy for me to like assume like, yeah, I know that one, it's, you know, it's whatever. But when I put it on, it's like, man, this is fucking really good, and that happens every time. I'll show you what this looks like. I'm actually, you know, with the benefit of having a little bit of time to think about it, I'm pretty sure that the original compilation had a different cover to this one. I have the tape version of this, the cassette version, and it has the same cover to this one. There you go. The tape version has the same cover. So yeah, I don't love this album cover. I prefer the original one, because this is just like a picture of I guess a hawk, maybe an eagle. I don't know. There's the back cover right there. All the track listing says it was recorded in the Cavem bunker. The inside is really nice. I kind of wish it weren't so glossy, but it looks nice regardless. But yeah, just a nice picture of some northern lights and a mountain. And I'm pretty sure the song North, I mean, I guess these are probably the lyrics to that, but I don't know why they just put lyrics to one track in here. But it is the very last track on the B side. So the vinyl itself is just black. And the labels are, I guess, kind of cool. Just a wolf. The other side, like I said, the B side of this one is etched. So I'll pull it out and show you. Yeah, just like that. Got the Cavem logo etched 4 times. So yeah, I was happy to see this one. I was happy to see this one get repressed. I felt like it needed it. I don't know for sure that this is like blacklisted on Discogs or anything, but regardless, it wasn't immediately like available to the people who wanted it. So I am glad that it got repressed, and even happier that I have one. This band has one full-length album called Nature, and it's really good. I have that one too. I'm pretty sure that I've talked about it in a video. Maybe I haven't actually, but that's what that one looks like. If I haven't talked about it before, I'm sure you've probably seen this cover around at very least. But they also, for the first time in a while, I don't exactly remember when Nature came out, but it had to have been at least, what, 6, 7, 8 years ago? 11 years ago. I just looked that up too. Goddamn. So this band has a new EP that came out last year, and there was actually a vinyl of that as well, but I didn't pick that one up. I don't know if that one was available in the same distro that I got this one from. Can't remember. But yeah, man, if you like sort of feral, high energy black metal, then this one will also suit you just fine. That's Cavem with Cosmos Airwalk. Alright, moving away from like normal black metal for a bit. I mean, everybody fucking knows I love this band. And I've talked about this release at least once before, I'm sure maybe a couple times, because this has been one of my favorite projects for a while. And this is my favorite of the material from this project. This is Magick SS, Spectral Ecstasy. This, the only reason I really wanted to show this is because I haven't talked about any of these Creep Purple represses, which they did for Kaleidoscope Dreams, Spectral Ecstasy, and Rainbow Nights. And they did all 3 of them with like a gatefold cover and the alternative artwork for each one of them. So they used the artwork that was on the CD copies for each of them. And though I'm not going to talk about the material on them, I'll show you. That's what the other 2 look like. Very nice. But I just kind of wanted to show these off because, like, or show this one off at least, because it's such nice quality. Briefly, this is my favorite material from this band. The song Black Hand, the opener track on this one, is my favorite track this band has done on most days of the week. Sometimes I'll say like the Black Abyss, like the track The Black Abyss. is my favorite, but I think Black Hand overall just takes it. So this doesn't really qualify as black metal. Like musically, it's very like psych rock. It kind of has like that 70s like occult rock vibe. And the vocals are kind of like black metal vocals, with the exception of like the choruses normally. And that's not the case for every track, but it's the case for most of them. I guess if I had to name like a couple other favorites from this one, the title track, My Love, and Hymn of Pride would be my other favorites on this one. But really, there's not a skippable track on this for me. I love it. I like this album cover. Compared to the original like LP copy, which the album cover looks like this. So, I mean, it's completely different. It's a completely different layout all the way around. But yeah, I like that they did these with the original, well, CD covers of them. The back of all three of them look just like this with the track listing. I love the Live by Magic, Die by Magic, and the Maze on this side here. I'm pretty sure all of this stuff was on the original like CD versions of these. All the vinyl is just black vinyl, and the labels are all pretty standard as well. So like I said, I don't really need to talk too much about the material here because I've done it a bunch of times. I haven't talked about this project in a while, and you know, these represses kind of gave me reason to just blab about it a bit on video for you nerds. So no complaints here. I love this project, and I'm desperate for new material, and we should be about due for it, just given the like the track record for this band and like how long they take between releases. Like, we're about due for one. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for new stuff on the horizon. But you know, even if this band never does anything else, like everything they left us with is about perfect. So this is like the cream of the crop for me, and if you've never heard it, check it out. Magick SS, Spectral Ecstasy. So we're gonna keep with the kind of psych rock stuff for just one more record. There are kind of rumors of this band sharing members with Black Magick, and yeah, I don't know for sure that that's true, but I think it probably is. This is Tarot with The Warrior's Spell. This is a compilation of all three of this band's EPs, which were called The Watcher's Dream, Dying Days, and Life and Death. And a couple of the tracks, actually two of the songs from the Take a Look Around demo as well. But two of the tracks were written specifically for this compilation, which I think is kind of cool. Those songs were called The Warrior's Spell and Street Lamps Calling. But yeah, this is basically like hard rock, heavy metal from Tasmania. And this one has a very heavy, kind of like 70s psych rock feel. And this material tends to be a bit kind of like slower, sort of like calm and whimsical. And you know, I've got to kind of be in the mood for this sort of thing, but when I am, it really scratches an itch for me. This band also shares a vocalist with The Wizard, which I have talked about here before. And I really love the material that The Wizard has put out. It's quite a bit different than this, and honestly the vocals sound a bit different on the Wizard stuff as well. On the Wizard stuff, it sounds a lot more like nasally. But you know, the stuff here, like knowing that it's the same person, I can definitely tell. I love the psych rock guitar sound on this. And really the guitar work is pretty interesting and colorful throughout, which will really, you know, just kind of keep your attention. And I think that this is served really well by the guitar work on this. I love it. I also really like the cover because it just fits perfectly with the sound of the music. Very kind of like psychedelic and colorful. The back cover there. This is a Van Records repress of this one. I'm pretty sure Van did the original press as well, but those became pretty hard to find, and they became pretty expensive too. And and I'm not really sure if that kind of came with the rumors of like the Black Magic ties or what. The gatefold is very cool. Again, just very colorful, and you have some lyrics on here as well. This is a double LP. I don't know if there were like different variants for this one or if they were all like this, but regardless, I got like the light blue vinyl. Very, very nice. No specified limitations or anything like that. Van Records does a really, really nice job pretty much anytime they do anything. So this is no exception to that. I don't know if these are still readily available or not, but they're definitely not as pricey as they were before this repress. So good on Van Records for giving it the repress that it needed. And if you haven't heard this and it sounds at all interesting, give it a shot. That's Tarot with the Warrior's Spell. Alright, I've got to speed through these last few because I've spent way too much time talking. Moving on, this is a compilation of 2 EPs that were released just last year. This is Cult de Ghoul with Deeds Without a Name and Eyes of Satan. So, Cult de Ghoul, I've talked about this band, I don't know how many times over the past like 8 years of doing videos on this channel. And it comes as no surprise to anybody, I fucking love this band. And that's not to say that this band hasn't had its like kind of, you know, peaks and valleys. You know, the material that they've done a bit more recently, like the full-length material, like Cavem or Sinister, they really didn't grab me like Haxan or Henbane did. And Haxan is probably like top 10, top 15 favorite black metal albums for me. I absolutely adore that record. And mainly because Cult de Ghoul was able to achieve quite possibly like the scariest sounding music I've ever heard. But that is exactly why I fucking love this EP, Deeds Without a Name. This sounds like something right out of like the Haxan era of Cult de Ghoul. So the Deeds Without a Name EP is the black metal one, and the other one is kind of more ambient. But the black metal one here, it sounds dirty, it sounds scary. I fucking love the vocal performance because it's so sort of unique to, what's that guy go by? Fucking Mark of the Devil, I think? I'm pretty sure the vocalist goes by like Mark of the Devil. It might say it on the inner sheet when I pull it out. But it just sounds so fucking evil. The second track on the Deeds Without a Name side of this compilation is called Buried in Cursed Soil, and there's part of that track where the vocalist is just kind of like yelling the word kill over and over again, and it's super fucking cool, dude. Yeah, the horned shape points at me and commands me to kill, kill, kill. Very fucking cool. I love that. Like I said, it just plays right into this sounding so fucking scary. The other side of this one, Eyes of Satan, is probably my least favorite thing that this band has done. Because it's an ambient release, and I'm not really into like solely ambient stuff. But there are vocals on this side, which I feel like are kind of a much needed extra element of interest here, because I think without them it would just feel a little bit too slow, and it's already a very like slow brooding kind of release. And I'm glad that they released this with the other one, because otherwise I probably wouldn't own the material. And I actually have the cassette versions of both of these that I bought right when I saw them, before I even listened to them, because this band has earned, as far as I'm concerned, they've earned blind buys for me. Anyway, let me show you the rest of this. This does come with an inner sheet. This is the Deeds Without a Name side of this one here. This was put out through End All Life Productions, by the way. And here's the Eyes of Satan side of the inner sheet there. The vinyl itself is just black, and both the labels are black with just the title on it, so no reason for me to pull that out. But yeah, man, if you like any era of Cult de Ghoul, then you're gonna like this, obviously. And if you kind of prefer the stuff that this band was doing much earlier on, then you're definitely gonna prefer this as well. I didn't mention it, by the way. This is like a top loader jacket, which I really, really like. I still keep the record and sheet outside of the jacket, but you know, I like when records are like that. But yeah, man, this is wonderful, especially the Deeds Without a Name side of this compilation. Definitely check it out. It's Cult de Ghoul. Alright, moving on. From Poland to Finland. This is a project that's definitely earned a lot of esteem over the past, I don't know, 5 years. This is Moon Citadel with Onyx Castles and Silver Keys. This is an EP that came out last year in 2021. And following the 2020 full-length album of this band, which was called Night's Scarlet Symphonies, I fucking loved that record. And the reason I liked it so much, I think, is because like Moon Citadel is pretty heavy-handed with like the symphonic elements in the music. That feels a little bit scaled back on this one, not so much, but you know, a little bit. And of course, Moon Citadel shares a vocalist with the band Stormheit, which is a lot more kind of like folky and pagan-y sounding. In a different way, because this definitely has its own sort of like folky elements to it. Like there are moments on this that feel very, very folky, and I really like those moments, of course. But when it kind of gets into like the aggressive black metal sound, like it really does present itself as kind of like a chaotic wall of noise. But just for long enough, you know, like that doesn't outstay its welcome or anything like that. Because it's pretty good at breaking it up with the sort of more scaled back moments where like the riffs are allowed to breathe or the synths are allowed to breathe. And like I said, the synths are a pretty heavy player with this band in general. The vocals on this one are kind of shouty and sort of reverbed, very cool. I mean, they are the sort of like, they kind of like black metal wretches, but they feel more like shouty, which I enjoy. The album cover is very, very cool. Yeah, it's just like a castle that has a couple faces on it. There's the back cover right there. Moon Citadel logo up top. Just 4 tracks and then a shot of each of these guys in the band. And I like this. It says, this is a conceptual album with the theme and inspiration to lyrics and music coming from H.P. Lovecraft's The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. So that's kind of cool. The vinyl itself is just black, so I'm not going to pull that out. But I'll show you this. Does have a lyric sheet with a shot of one of the members there with a big fucking sword. And the other side, I don't know, this might be a picture of the other member, like standing right there behind that like little column thing. But yeah, he's just enjoying a nice day down by the river, I guess. So yeah, man, I really like Moon Citadel. Lots of interest here in the music, and though I'm sure I'm not cluing anybody in, if you haven't heard Moon Citadel, you can kind of start anywhere because it's all great. But for now, this is Onyx Castles and Silver Keys. Alrighty, let's put a cap on this one. And I'm not going to spend too long talking about this either because I'm kind of running out of time. This is a US-based black metal project, kind of an early one too, especially for the US. But this is Masochist with History. So this is a compilation of pretty much all this band's material, I think. Like you can see, there's a lot of tracks on here. But this is a really nice pressing of this one, done by Bestial Rape. But, you know, I've been keeping up with all the Bestial Rape stuff for as long as Bestial Rape has been around. One, because Bestial Rape has never put out anything short of, you know, good black metal. But also, it's run by one of my very good friends. My friend Craig, who you guys are probably all familiar with in one capacity or another. But, yeah, Masochist is, like I said, it's a Michigan-based band that existed for only a few years in like the early to mid 90s. And this band never released a full-length album. But a couple of these guys are the same guys from Wind of the Black Mountains, which I have talked about before on this channel. And Wind of the Black Mountains did release full-length albums. But really the material sounds kind of similar to that. Like the stuff on here, a lot of it would fit right in with like, you know, the other like European black metal that was happening around the same time, just that early second wave sound. But I would say that the drum performance on this material here is a bit more frenetic than is kind of typical for like second wave black metal. But also like the guitar here is very distorted. It kind of sounds like musically kind of like Profanatica or something like that. But anyway, this is a compilation that was originally released in 2007. And let me show you what this looks like, because it's very nice. I think this is the only Bestial Rape like 12-inch LP that was released with a gatefold. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not. There's the back cover right there, shot of the band, very cool. All the track listing there, and at the bottom you have like an explanation of what each of these tracks were from. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that this is all the material. The gatefold is very cool. Just you know, kind of like a collage of the band members there, and then nice shot of this guy here. This is a double LP, which I'm pretty sure is also the only time there's been a double LP pressed by Bestial Rape. This is pressed on like a really nice like red, black, marbly vinyl. So, you know, kind of just a part of early US black metal history, and a really like good set of material on this as well. I mean, if you like Winds of the Black Mountains or like Profanatica or something, like you'll probably have no trouble getting into this. But if you've never heard it, definitely check it out. That's Masochist with History. Alright, that's it. I gotta wrap this up. Thank you so much for sticking through it. And I don't normally ask, but if you liked the video, definitely like it on YouTube, because as I understand, it kind of helps with the algorithm. I never ask, and you know, if you don't want to, I also don't care. But it's a free way to, I guess, kind of spread the word. But thanks so much for sticking around, and hopefully we'll be back soon. Later.